This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. Central Texas Life with Ann Harder presents Central Texas Events.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Events. And have we got a fun event to tell you about today? We have Daniel McKnight, Historic Waco Foundation's Collections, Events, and Volunteer Coordinator, and Amy Traweek with the wonderful Revision Photo Restoration.
Yes, and heirloom imagery. I have two businesses.
Two businesses.
Yes,
All right.
separate.
Well, this is fun because we are talking about a really fun event. The second time you've done it now.
Technically third. We had it a second time that was a private event for a local church group.
Okay, well, this is the Bonnie and Clyde murder mystery. And that is coming up on Saturday, Friday and Saturday, too.
Yes, last time it was only one day, but we sold out of tickets 2 weeks in advance. So this time we're having it 2 days because we had so many people tell us last time, hey, I wanted tickets, but they were sold out and I just couldn't get any. So it's like, okay, we'll have it a second day this time so everyone can attend.
Okay, it's coming up on the 20th and 21st. And so that's really this of September. Yes, and so you've got plenty of time to go ahead and make those plans and get your tickets. But Amy, you took some fabulous pictures that we're going to share with folks.
It was so much fun. I didn't get to be at the private one that you were talking about, but we just kind of had an idea. So they had a guy bring in, what was the car? Do you remember what the car? Some kind of like model.
It was a 1930s car. I know
okay, yeah, something Bonnie and Clyde,
so
vintage.
It's actually like the same color, style, year, make, and model of Bonnie and Clyde's actual car. Yes.
Oh my!
Yeah, it wasn't the car, but it was like basically
the car was shot up.
And so the guy was really neat. He let people open the door, and then they had like the big running fenders that those cars used to have. So we had people like kind of sit down, and then I did two versions of each print. So we had one that was like the color one that's kind of fun, but then we did one that was the opposite of what I do with my restorations. Usually I deconstructed the photo and made it look aged. So I can do both ways. So that was really fun.
Well, and there was a German Shepherd, I think,
yes,
involved.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
I loved him. Yes, he's so sweet.
As a family came, they had... it may have been a service dog. I don't recall, but at any rate, it was a very well-behaved dog.
She trains dogs. That's her job. Yeah.
And that dog was absolutely well-dressed, even better dressed than I was.
He had a little cigar that he put in his mouth and a little hat and a vest. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and the
pinstripe, that one,
the pinstripes, the whole bit. And so that's kind of the idea. People can dress up in their Bonnie and Clyde attire.
And everyone who dresses up for the event will have a raffle where we'll be giving away just a couple historic books that we have. Not books that are historical, but books on history that we sell. So literally just come in costume and we'll have a raffle, and whoever wins gets to take home a few books with them.
Okay, so this is going to be at East Terrace, which, of course, what a beautiful Italianate house. I mean, it's really, one of the gems we have in our historic homes, wouldn't you say?
It is, and it's cool that we're having this murder mystery at the East Terrace house because actually... being in charge of the collections, I know the history of some of the artifacts. Well, it turns out the carpet that we have on the back stairwell came from the house of William Cameron, who just so happened to have a car that was stolen by Clyde Barrow. So there's distant connection between the two.
Wow.
No kidding. It's kind of the 7 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon. This is even closer.
Yeah, because the cool thing is Bonnie and Clyde actually got their start here in Waco.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
When Clyde Barrow was arrested, he had stolen, I think, 5 cars in Waco, one of them being William Cameron's car.
And I'm sure it was a nice car.
Oh, for sure, yes, because after all, William Cameron owned Cameron Park, which is where the zoo is, and Lover's Leap and all that. So after stealing those cars, he was arrested and put in the McLennan County Jail here in Waco. And it was there that Bonnie smuggled him the pistol, and so Clyde Barrow and his 2 cellmates, they used the pistol in order to escape. And so it was literally... now, Clyde Barrow was recaptured, and so he was sent back to jail for 2 years, and it was in that time that people believe he kind of got hardened and was like, I'm not going to be recaptured, and oh, hey, this Bonnie lady, she was really nice to me. I ought to team up with her more.
Oh, my. Well, it's just a fascinating story, and the Waco connection is truly iconic for the community. Amy, your connection, though, with Historic Waco Foundation, I think it's just awesome because of what you do with restoring photography and photographs and things.
It kind of was just one of those partnerships that kind of just like, know why neither of us had thought of it before.
It's kind of just an organic thing.
And
that
actually,
happened.
the one that was over, what is Noelle's actual title with the
social media coordinator. I don't recall if there's more to the title.
more or less, yeah, but
she's
more
in
or
charge
less.
of our social media.
Right. So I had, I just had the brainstorm. You know, as an entrepreneur, you're constantly thinking, how can I grow my business? What can I do to, you know, I know my client base, and what do my clients like? Well, they love history. You know, they love their own history, so they like Waco history and things like that. And so I was like, well, let me just reach out to Historic Waco Foundation. So I sent them a message on Facebook, which apparently was Noelle was running that. And she messaged me back really quickly because she's awesome. And she said, that's so weird that you reached out to us because we were just talking about needing to get some pictures of the Hoffman sisters restored. And so we were actually going to call you. I was like, well, perfect.
Okay.
And then they invited me to the meeting. I don't know, it was like a staff meeting maybe or a volunteer meeting. I'm not sure. But yeah, they just invited me in, and Noelle had a little seat, saved me a seat, and I was like, what are we talking about? And she just took me right in. And it's funny because we ended up being really close friends, and she's actually the office manager at my brand new downtown location for my
Okay, so you
restoration
have
business.
just moved. So tell
Yes.
everybody about where you are. now.
Yeah, so I used to have a space over on Franklin. I call it Carlot Alley. It wasn't the nicest place. But 2020 is whenever I closed that down. We all know what happened then in 2020. But between 2020 and now, I've been meeting people at the West Waco Library because they have a genealogy center there.
They sure
And
do.
That was kind of like, well, those are my people. So I just gravitate, you know, it just made sense. It's a safe public place, and they can do a little bit of research while they're there, which is great. I love those guys over there. But a downtown location just happened to become available right at the right time in my life. And, you know, I just decided to do it. We're right next to One Day Bar on Columbus. And I think 2 doors down is Glory Bell Coffee. And then right across the the street is a beautiful blue Victorian home, which is actually an Airbnb, Heart of Texas home.
Yeah, and so this is a wonderful brick and mortar that you have.
Yes.
And folks how can they reach you if they've got maybe a picture of grandma
just
they
call
want to
us.
have?
You can either go on our website at revisionphotorestoration.com. There's a place where you can click to get a quote, so you can upload a picture, even if you take a picture with your cell phone, just something to give us an idea of what you have, you know, to give you an idea of price. And then, you know, they can just come into the studio. It's at 618 Columbus Avenue. You can call our store line. I no longer use my personal phone as a business phone, which has been very nice. So yeah, it's 254-300-4230 is the phone number.
Well, Daniel, you mentioned volunteers. That is, you know, what, and Historic Waco Foundation is pretty much volunteer driven.
We really are, yes, because we can't do anything that we do without our volunteers, and we have a number of great volunteers, but we can always use more volunteers, especially with things like the murder mystery. we
Yeah,
have
these
coming up.
events. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, because literally sometimes we just need someone who's just willing to set up a table with some decorations. It could be that simple, or it could be as active as, hey, we need you to play a character in this murder mystery. And so you get to be, perhaps if it's a gentleman, we may have a gentleman portraying William Cameron there. Or perhaps we may have a lady who's maybe a little on the shady side and, you know, needs to be investigated as far as, hey, do you have any connections to a gentleman named Clyde Barrow, perhaps? You know, that sort of thing.
And actually, Megan Heaton that you met just a few minutes ago, this is kind of funny because it was like a last minute thing to include me. So thank you for having me on here. But yeah, so Megan, my darkroom technician / production manager, she's actually playing a part. She wanted to volunteer.
Is she?
Yeah, she has a film degree and she loves theater. So she's like, I want to do that. She's so fun. I just love her.
It's ideal, and what a wonderful way to get people back to the historic homes that Waco has. To have a fun event like this, tickets are $30.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
again, there's 2 different seatings or 2 different opportunities. I presume you've got a cutoff. You're going to sell out at what?
So if I remember correctly, it's 30 people per session, and that session being 1 session per day. So it's 60 tickets total, but 30 tickets per day. And of course, last time we sold out 2 weeks in advance. So depending on when this may air, we may be starting to run low on tickets. So you
now.
probably want to go ahead and get the tickets
Go ahead.
now,
Sooner than later.
Out.
Yeah, $30. I mean, that's very reasonable entertainment for the evening. Again, Friday, September 20th, and Saturday, the 21st.
Yes.
So
and I should say that also that ticket price will also include 2 free vouchers for drinks. Southern Roots is also one of our sponsors, and so they're going to be serving drinks there. And then also you get a charcuterie cup, so you get a little bit of a snack before the mystery actually begins. Because, of course, everyone will be getting there at 6, but then the actual mystery will be starting at 7. Sorry, I misspoke. It'll be everyone arrives at 6:30, and then the mystery starts at 7. And then, of course, the killer will be revealed at 8:45. So,
and the pictures are included in that price. Yes. Last year we did it where it was separate. It was just a pain trying to get everybody. You had to check out in 2 places.
Yeah.
It was just too confusing. So we're like, well, you know what? Let's just combine it in the ticket price. So that is a portion of that price as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they get their digital copies, and if they want to order prints, they can do that. The print is not included, but we do offer the digital, which everybody loves because you can share it.
Well, it's just a wonderful way to kind of highlight, have fun at a beautiful historic Waco home at East Terrace, and also kind of showcase a really interesting aspect of Waco history. But before we leave, I want to remind you about the 175th celebration, September 6th and 7th, because there's going to be a kickoff party at the Texas Music Cafe on the 6th. Music and fun from 6 to 10. Those tickets are $75. There'll be heavy appetizers, drinks. Performer Kelsey Ray, who's written the song about Waco, A City to Believe In. She'll be performing, so there'll be music and fun. And then on Saturday, the 7th, is the scavenger hunt. That's going to be out of Historic Waco Foundation, a sponsor of that as well. There'll be an ending celebration at the Earl Harrison House in Pape Gardens. Hot dogs, refreshments, and again, Kelsey Ray will be there. So we're really showcasing Waco's history.
Where is the scavenger hunt?
Okay, it's going to start. Okay, I think it's going to start at the suspension bridge.
Oh, the suspension bridge.
I think, isn't
Cool.
it? I forgot.
If I remember off the top of my head,
Sorry,
that
guys.
sounds right. I don't recall off the
Okay,
top
I'm
of
looking
my
at my
head.
notes.
Apologies.
I just know where it's going to end. But you can go online and the Jacob Day Cordova Society and get all the information on both of these events. Of course, the other sponsors, Rogue Media Network, Creative Waco, Waco Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Texas Jewish Historical Society, and Waco Educators Alliance. So some great folks who are really want to celebrate Waco's 175th. And I'm just going to say this murder mystery is another part of it.
It is.
Because we'll all plan to be
Who
there.
doesn't love a murder mystery, and it's...
I know, and a little Bonnie and Clyde thrown in
yeah,
for
and especially
fun.
at a historic home. How cool is that? It's like
Yeah.
living in the what was that game, Clue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's
it's
sort
like
of
real
what
life,
it reminded me of. And we also have some wonderful fun things happening earlier in the month of September to tell you about, and that is through the Waco's new Jacob Day Cordova Society, and it's the Waco 175th celebration on September 6th and 7th. There'll be a kickoff party at the Texas Music Cafe on the 6th. Music and fun, and Kelsey Ray, who's written that special song for Waco, A City to Believe In. $75 for those tickets, and there'll be heavy drinks. There'll be heavy heavy hors d'oeuvres.
I mean, maybe that's
There
true,
might be
yeah.
some heavy drinks there too. It is Texas Music Cafe.
Yeah, exactly.
But then on Saturday, now this is very much a family-friendly event, a scavenger hunt for all ages. It's going to start at the
Farmers market.
Farmers market. It's going to
Yes,
start at the
farmers
farmers
market.
market,
Very
and
cool, yeah.
the scavenger hunt's going to be just loads of fun for everybody. And then it will end at the Earl Harrison House and the Pape Gardens. There'll be hot dogs, refreshments on that day as well. So that's coming up on September 6th and 7th. And I've got some fabulous sponsors, including Historic Waco Foundation, but Rogue Media Network, Creative Waco, Waco Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Texas Jewish Historical Society, and Waco Educators Alliance. So a lot of folks interested in Waco's history, in celebrating Waco's histories as you are with this murder mystery that's coming up on the 20th and 21st. Now, folks can get tickets. How?
Yeah, so they can get tickets on the Historic Waco website. That's historicwaco.org. And of course, you go on there, you'll look under events, and it'll be the first thing that'll pop up, and you can order tickets for whichever night you prefer.
Well, it's really going to be loads of fun, and I appreciate both of you taking some time out to be with us, Amy, Traweek. It's wonderful to have you as a sponsor for
yes,
the
absolutely, and I'm
Bonnie
more than
and
happy
Clyde.
to. I didn't want to interrupt you earlier, but with the raffle, I would love to donate a decent-sized gift card, gift certificate for photo restoration services.
Very, very good. Well, thank you for your sponsorship of this as well, and of course, all the great work that Historic Waco Foundation does. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you all for being with us for Central Texas Events. We'll see you at all these fun things coming up as we celebrate Waco. Bye-bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.